So, as I did last time, use my handy dandy helpful AI to give us a great summary recap of what happened last session, with my notes, obviously. And this is what I came up with. So, Ishtar found himself in quite a precarious situation, facing off against a psionic goblin. But fear not, Gilana, the valiant soldier from House Tuin, came to the rescue just in time, sparing Ishtar from a nasty fate. Meanwhile, Aetherion uncovered some unsettling news. It turns out a group of werewolves had ambushed him back at the orc camp. Fortunately, Borber's quick thinking managed to de-escalate the situation by convincing the werewolves that Aetherion was in fact a captive of theirs, and they were on their way to the rest to deliver him. Aetherion and Ishtar entrusted Gwyn with some green gems they had obtained from the orc shaman. These gems seemed to be the key to how their enemies were tracking them. Our journey led us to Leyland, where we had a rather enlightening chat with a captured werewolf, courtesy of Neldoran, a Harper agent. This furry fellow spilled the beans about their raiding party stumbling upon a shard and sending it back to Zorzula's rest. But here's where things took a mysterious turn. The werewolf, much like the orc shaman and that pesky psionic goblin, emitted a faint green glow and bore a familiar branded mark like the werewolves that tried to capture Aetherion. Before you could process it all, the werewolf exploded in a burst of psychic energy, leaving behind a peculiar green claw. Undeterred, you pressed on to Thundertree, where you stumbled upon a scene of destruction. An owlbear frantically searching for its cub, which was locked away in a metal-sealed crate. In that crate, you discovered a mysterious symbol, and in the wreckage of the wagon, a journal detailing a journey from Waterdeep to Bryn Shander. In Thundertree itself, you uncovered even more intrigue. Venomfang, the resident dragon, revealed that mind flayers were involved in the hunt for these black shards. However, Venomfang seemed to despise the mind flayers and offered you a deal. Retrieve his lost egg, and he'd safeguard the shard from other parties. Apparently, someone named Ruxithid might know something about it. So, my dear comrades, it seems our path is fraught with danger and mystery. And with that, I believe we left off right outside slash inside of Thundertree, getting ready to head towards Old Owl Well. Was there anything else that I missed that anybody wanted to do before heading out? Anything like that?
How long is the trip?
From Old Owl Well to Thundertree?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Isn't it the other way around?
I just
Or, yeah.
imagine Ishtar very, very well.
Yeah, it's from Thundertree to Old Owl Well. It would be probably half a day, maybe a little longer, even with horses. You're kind of in the middle. Well, you're in the southern central of Neverwinter Forest right now, heading towards the east side of, in essence, Phandalin, just a little bit farther. So, 6 hours or so.
I like that the AI thing called that werewolf the furry fellow.
Yeah.
Did I read anything in the human leather?
So when you were looking in the book, as you turned the pages, you were able to glean a list of names, which you kind of gathered the first time. But a few names stood out to you specifically. You're not really sure why, and I'll get you the list of names later. And then as you kept reading, towards the last filled out page, there's a lot of still empty pages left. Towards the end of the list of names, you saw a name that was very familiar to you, and it was your father's name, which is eluding me right now, but in essence, your father's name was at almost the bottom of that list. And this list is, hundreds of names long. And you notice your father's name wasn't crossed out, but all the other names had been crossed out.
Is like I'm gonna kill these people kind of book, right? I think.
So that's in essence how you take it.
Oh, okay.
From what you remember, and I think I'd have to go back through the notes. I feel like I told you guys this, but when after you guys defeated Evalaga, the hag, Armoros the devil, I think archdevil, came and took her body, and he mentioned that Evalaga had struck a deal with him to gain power, and in order to gain the power, she had to capture 1,000 souls for Armoros. And so, kind of putting two and two together, this feels like her book of souls she has captured for him. And so she would write the name when she found her next victim and mark it off as she killed / captured the soul.
Okay. Weird. As far as I know, I watched him die.
Correct. Yes. So.
Okay.
Wait, where
Oh.
was where? Oh, sorry.
What's up?
I was just gonna ask where Dragon thinks that his egg was again.
Never
The
went through
goblin
it.
one.
So he mentioned that he followed the
We have
the
best for it.
goblins he followed the goblins that killed his mate and took the egg to Neverwinter Wood, but then he hasn't seen them since. The only thing that he had heard was that some goblins he had killed mentioned before they died that they knew someone named Ruxithid had an egg as well, and they were kind of the same green glowy goblins.
They went to Neverwinter Wood, so some dude named that somewhere in there.
Ruxithid. Is Ruxithid an illithid?
Guess you'll find out at some point.
So sorry. So my father's name was the last one in the book, and it wasn't crossed out. All the others were. And that's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not fair.
What?
That his dad's still alive?
Yeah.
I literally watched him die like 15 years ago, something like that. So I mean, I'm looking at it like, well, that's weird.
Yeah,
What's
that's
weird?
the question. How did he
Like,
die?
I'll go here. Take this scary book, Ervin. I'm sure.
No.
Oh man.
On our way traveling there, could I possibly? Okay, before I left, for what was the first place we went? Leyland.
Mm-hmm.
Could I possibly go to Sarah's shop and have bought a medicine book?
So describe what you mean by medicine book specifically.
Maybe a book to talk about different ways to I don't know, in essence, help your. I'm not good at this.
Are you trying to find like something that would help you with your medicine rolls as you're training?
Yeah.
Was it called Medical Surgical Nursing in Canada Assessment and Management of Clinical Problems? It weighs like 10 fucking pounds.
Yeah. It's like
Something like
1,000
that.
I've got it right here. You could definitely use it as an improvised weapon too.
He just mails you an actual physical textbook. This is what you have to use. So what I would say is because you're on your last roll, right? You're doing your D4.
Yeah.
And this is just for proficiency, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So
hop in if you want.
I would. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. We'll say that you find a book that details current practices used by doctors and apothecaries in the region. So not cleric in terms of like magical healing, but physical bandages and things like that. But it is fairly worn. It feels more like a journal rather than like an actual textbook. And with it, first off, we'll say that it costs you I don't know. Let's do.
Uh-oh, the DM doesn't know.
10 gold to buy it. And with that, it would make it where you can roll the d4 and you can choose to re-roll it, but you then have to take the new roll. So you still need to get a 1, but you technically have 2 chances.
Take my money.
And you can only use it once a day. So like let's say you spent 8 hours a day training, you could only use the re-roll once, even though you get 2 rolls / you're looking for a 2 or a 1. But
take my money.
Okay, I will take that from you.
I will take your money.
Gladly.
I have a question in the similar vein once you're done with that, then.
Okay. Gosh, the money system in this stupid new character sheet just does not like me. Anytime that I try to change the money, it just freaks out. Ishtar, does your gold show 0?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can. Can I change it to 60?
Oh, see if it lets you, because I was trying to do it and it just kept freaking out on me. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do to make that better. Oh, is there a button? Oh,
There's a thing that says manage currency.
yeah, I just figured that out. Okay, so I think that may do what I want. If I add 60 there, put it in your pouch, I guess? I don't know. Did that do anything? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll make a note. So you spent.
So wait, if I put 60 in my pouch and I transfer my pouch, that work? Nope.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on with why that doesn't work. That makes no sense. And why did it get rid of all your money? Like, get rid of one thing, okay, like make it mess up, but don't take away all his hard-earned cash. Come on. But
I don't know how money really works. You got to remember that.
that's true, I guess. We could just say you lost it all. But
7 intelligence.
okay, there we go. I think I got it fixed. Oof.
Yeah, it's work.
That was a pain. So, okay. Yeah, so you have that book, and so that's how it'll affect your rolls. So Ethereum, yeah, you said you had something.
Oh, you said we could also train a tool proficiency?
Yeah, yes.
Can I pick herbs and shit on the way?
So like working on because like you're working towards like herbology kind of a thing, herbalism.
Yeah, herbalism kit.
Gotcha. Okay.
My mom was like an apothecary and herbalism.
Yes. Okay.
A witch.
Don't you talk about my mama? Okay. Yes, and that is something too. Okay, I'm making up for that. Working on herbalism kit. Something too, as like a side note, I'm looking at potential modules that will let me incorporate gathering and crafting into the game. So if that sounds like something you guys would like to do, let me know, and I will try to figure out how to make that work, because that's a lot of work if I can't use a module. But there are some modules that make it very easy to incorporate. So, but yeah. Yeah. Okay.
As an aside,
Mm-hmm.
have horns or a tail to use a tiefling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the power of AI not understanding what I wanted. So.
Do you want horns and a tail?
I don't know. I don't know if I really have a strong feeling. So probably not. Okay. I think I finally have that where I want it. I don't know. This audio is going to be screwy, but that's fine.
And I also
Mhm.
do the medicine roll. until
Oh,
on our
yeah,
way.
yeah. So if you guys are fine to start heading towards Old Owl Well, yeah, it'll be about a 6-hour journey. So if anyone's wanting to train stuff, go ahead and do your rolls that you need.
What
And
what would I do for
um,
one?
I've got that somewhere. Let
Yes.
me find it. That is because there's a specific thing.
Hey,
for
Corbin.
Look at that.
You didn't even need the book.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
he did,
Oh,
because
wait,
you wouldn't have
yeah.
got the reroll. It's worth it.
Where did I put that?
While they're doing that, can I look for fruits and things to make more of my stuff?
Yeah. You find what did you have last time? Did I say you got like peaches?
It was like apples.
Apples. Okay, so then this time, being more in Neverwinterwood, now you still find some apple trees, but now you start to see a few peach trees. So it's up to you how many or which you would like to get, but you do kind of start to see a different fruit emerge.
Well, hold on, let me do this then.
Oh god, how do I get rid of this?
Okay, I probably get like 2 or 3.
Oh, come on. I just spent forever organizing all this crap, and now I can't find what I need again. There it is. Okay, new proficiencies. So, for herbalism, that would be... Herbalism would be a wisdom. You're going to be using your wisdom ability.
So just straight wisdom.
Yeah. Which then your modifier
plus
is
one.
+1, so then
Plus
you'd start on a 12? Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, D12.
That's gonna be awful.
10. Unfortunately, we'll say you find some herbs, but the ones that you pick, you can already tell that most of like the juices or the saps that you would be able to get from them have kind of drained from the way that you picked them, as well as some of them you didn't get the whole plant or the root. You only got parts of it because it ripped or something like that. So you were able to get stuff, but it was not very necessarily helpful.
Okay.
So,
Wait, you rolled a 1d12?
yeah. So you start on if you don't have any modifiers to the ability that you do,
okay.
it's a 20.
Never mind. That's the.
Yeah.
I see. I zoned out for a little bit, and I thought he was like picking them and gathering them, and then that I was like, why wouldn't you roll a 20?
Oh. Okay. So, and then Ervin, you got a small handful of fruits, whichever one you wanted. You were able to get a 2, 3, give or take.
We.
Okay. So, you continue on your travel. Well, let me do this. There we go. So you continue on your travel over to Old Owl Well, and before long, because I probably should have mentioned this first, by the time you get done with Thunder Tree, it's like late in the evening. You're close to like nighttime on the 2nd. So after a few hours of travel, you will need to rest somewhere and set up camp for the night. So as you travel, you find a spot that you can kind of be close to the road, but not right on the road for the evening. So as you set up camp for the night, you have some, each of you kind of go through a situation of watches. I'm not going to make that affect any like sort of rest problems or anything like that, but you keep a rest. Some of you take the first watch while the others go to sleep. And the night is fairly uneventful. You do find, every now and again, a traveler's kind of heading on the road the same direction you are, but you won't be on the road for long before you head off into the hills to go to Old Owl Well. And so every now and again, you find a traveler who's just minding their own business, heading towards either Tribor or maybe back to the Sword Coast. Every now and again, a nocturnal animal scurries, and you swap in the middle of the night who's keeping watch, and it's a fairly uneventful evening. So you wake up the next morning, fully rested. All of you have been able to sleep for the night, and it is now morning of the 3rd of Myrtle. So then you continue for another few hours, and you get to the beginning of Old Owl Well, from what you've been told and what you have seen in the Black Spider's journal. And let me pull up my notes. There we go. So I need to fix this as well. I've got a picture. Oh, maybe I don't. Yeah, there it is. Ta-da! So, as you crest a low ridge, you spy the crumbling ruins of an old watchtower and mounds of rubble enclosing a courtyard amid the rugged hills. A colorful tent sits in the middle of the courtyard, but no one is in sight. And in the eerie stillness of the area, the air carries a scent of metallic decay. And so what you see is the abandoned tower with this colorful tent kind of off to the side, and then you can see the what's left of a well setup towards that tent. So you see the little pitch with a bucket hanging on a string, and then the entrance into the well. But you don't see anything else from where you're at as you slowly start to approach the area. Is there anything anybody wants to do as you start to approach?
Does the tent look like it's decrepit, or does it look like it's in pretty good condition?
The tent looks fairly well. It could have been here for a long time. You can't really tell, but like the tent isn't tattered or anything. It looks like it's weathered the elements fairly well. So take that as you will.
Guys, what if someone's already here and they're trying to get this thing too?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. I will say whoever wants to be listening, looking around, whatever, go ahead and make a perception check for me. So, man, this audio is driving me nuts. Oh well. We'll do what we can. Okay, so what did we get? We got a 20, 13, 7, 18, and Ishtar's doing find traps. Okay, so starting with Ishtar, you scour the area from where you're at, and you don't see any traps. This place it matches the look of the tower, as in it's probably been abandoned for at least, a week or two. And it doesn't seem like anyone tried to protect themselves while they were here. And so you don't see any traps or any sort of wiring anywhere that could be tripped or anything like that. For Etherion, Guthrie, and Aravan, the only thing you pick up on is, one, it's fairly quiet. You really don't hear anything. But you kind of get this very faint smell of maybe something's rotten, like maybe rotten food. Maybe there's a dead animal nearby or something. It doesn't smell pleasant, but it's also not so strong that it's close to you, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I might stay back behind the tree line to see if anything goes wrong, and then I might come in after you guys, but who knows?
I'm gonna go, I guess. I'll go slowly and peek around the tent.
Okay. Anybody going with Ervin, or is he all alone?
I'll go with him.
Okay. Okay. So, Guthrie, you going with? You staying back with Ishtar? Okay. Nobody goes to the bathroom alone. Everything's fine. Yeah. Okay. So, Guthrie, as you and Ishtar sit back and kind of watch from a distance, Ervin, you and Aetherion walk closer. Once again, still very silent and eerie and almost feels like very still where you're at. And you get closer to the tent. Were you looking in the tent or kind of just looking around the general area? Okay. Go ahead and do an investigation check for me. And Aetherion, you can do one as well if you're doing the same thing now that you're up in the area. Okay. So you don't find anything. There's nothing of note outside of the tent. And as you. Oh, gosh. There's not even insects here. That's how eerily still it is. And so the tent has some flaps that kind of cover it. It looks almost like a circus tent color, so it's like that red and white stripes. And as you pull the flaps open and peer inside the tent, you see a horrible scene laid out before you. You see papers litter the floor as if thrown across the tent. There's a cot that's turned over, feathers laying all around from the ripped mattress. A cooked bird of some sort is still stuck on the turner above an extinguished fire, not touched, although it was prepped perhaps for a dinner some time ago. And in the center of the tent, tied spread eagle to a wooden circular frame, is a mangled corpse. And as you look at the corpse, you notice that the victim is red robed, is a red robed figure with a shaved scalp and a tattoo on his forehead. The victim's flesh has been peeled away in meticulously deliberate fashion, revealing the delicate network of veins and nerves beneath. And the skull, which now is exposed from the skin, as you look at this horrible kind of figurine in front of you. The skull kind of shows the brain on the back side. So as you're kind of walking around, you notice that the back of the sorry, there we go. The back of the skull has almost been like cut, not cracked, but cut open and peeled, to where you can see the brain, and you can almost see it still pulsating just a little bit. And the surrounding tissue, which has also now been stripped and twisted, bears witness to whatever kind of cruel precision whatever attacked this person had. You see circular marks all over the victim's body, each kind of a sickening imprint on the flesh. And then the eyes that once might have been vibrant are now very vacant and very hollow, kind of reflecting whatever horrors happened to them. It's kind of fucked up. No, chicken looks clean. Yeah, it's been cooked. It's been prepped to eat. Yeah. No salmonella here. uh, oh man. Okay. Yeah, you kind of see that the brain is very faintly pulsing a little, almost as if it has maybe a heartbeat to it or something, but it does appear to kind of pulse just faintly. He's actively saying this in character as he thinks. I've got something here. I I do have it ready if you would like me to just say it too, but I want to give you the opportunity. How about I just send it to you again and I'll send it to you in the private chat. Oh, you got it? Okay. I wonder if I actually gave you the information that would help answer this question. Oh, it would be under the second point. Probably is going to be the best. Yeah. And with that too, Ishtar, as you come up to see this body, looking at specifically, obviously the brain being exposed, but also the circle marks across the victim's body, really solidifies it in your mind that this was definitely mind flayer in nature. He's got 30. He's just yelling at everybody. Are you asking Ishtar, I'm assuming? Um, Yeah, you can do a medicine check for me. Oh, that. Oh no, Ervin, you said he had the 19. I guess you're using the 19. Yeah, natural 20 with the 26. So, looking at the brain and using your knowledge of mind flayers and elithids from the Underdark, there's usually only two reasons that the mind would be left. One is the mind or the brain has been used for something else that the mind flayers had in plan under their plans. Some things as they can turn the brains into other creatures. They can sometimes use it for like potions and things like that, or just store them for later, or something came up and they left it. It's not normal that a brain is left unless something specific happened. So usually, if a mind flayer would leave a brain, it's probably because they had other plans that they were going to use it for, or they had to leave for some reason, whether something came after them, they were called to do something else, something more important came up. But usually it has to be fairly important for them to leave a brain because that is their main form of like sustenance and strength. Mhm. So, if you're wanting to like look for that information, do a history check for me. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do an investigation. So, Ethereon 17. So, studying the wizard's garb that they're wearing, you remember of stories you've heard of wizards wearing kind of the same, not uniform, but just same materials as belonging to Thay, a land of necromancers where wizards pattern their flesh with tattoos and wear a very consistent red robed color of some sorts. So then, let's see. Um, okay. Oh shoot, where did I put that? Like trying to. So say that again. Oh, gotcha. Do you could check to see if it's like if it seems to be magic in nature, maybe that it's using or that's being used on it. That would probably be the closest you could get to identifying if it's doing anything to somebody like that. And Ervin, I've got something for you. I'm just trying to find where I put the notes. Dang it, I don't think I saved it, which sucks. Man, I had it somewhere. Okay, anyway. Yeah. Okay, so for Aravan, as you were looking around, you find a journal, kind of amidst the stack of papers. And in this journal, as you flip through the pages, it details this wizard, whose name is Haman Cost. It details his travels from Thay here to Old Owl Well within the last handful of weeks. And once he got to Old Owl Well, he was here looking for quote unquote a powerful magic artifact that some other wizards had mentioned being spotted in this area. He came here to study it, to try to figure out what it was, what he can do with it. And as he was here studying, it took him some time, but he did determine that the object was netherese in, I don't know what you'd call that, in specialty, I guess? Nature? Yeah, nature. So, from the ancient magic of the netherese. And when he determined that, he wasn't able to crack what this shard was or what it would do, just that it was from this ancient magic kingdom. And by the time he got that much figured out and was going to send it back to Thay, he started to feel something was watching him. And his last journal entry was just maybe a week, half a week to a week before you got here. That he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to last much longer because he's starting to hear things. And then that's kind of where his journal ends. I don't remember if anyone had figured that out yet. I know Gwen determined that it was some sort of ancient magic. I don't know if she was sure that it was netherese. Now the drow may have said that. I can't remember. And then let's see. They had the Arcana check. Wow, even with a nat 20, you still lose 2. That sucks. So Ishtar, looking at the brain, it doesn't appear that there is any sort of magic being cast on the brain or that the brain is casting any sort of magic out. It seems that whatever's happening must be like residual muscle and nerve twitches. Okay. Ethereum, you want to remove it? Do you care how clean it is when you remove it, or are you just like ripping it out? Okay. So that would be, I'm going to say, you could do a survival check to try to harvest this brain in one piece. Um, yeah, if you wanted to, so if you did that, then yeah, you could do like a survival check with advantage because it's less that you're kind of working through. Excuse me. Oh, gotcha. Okay. You just hear Guthrie mumbling to himself as he pulls his sleeves up, getting ready to go elbow deep. The following. Oh, okay, yeah. So that 1d4 is to recharge. Okay, recharge armor. I got you now. Oh, yeah, because it is. Yeah. Yeah, 1d6 plus 4. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Aravan with so at the end of each day you got a chart watch to see if the staff breaks. So yeah, so you're good. So then now you can do the 1d6 plus 4 for the charges. Okay, looking at all these other dice rolls. Anything yeah, not one and it just shatters. Okay. So we had Ethereon fail horribly. And Ishtar's helping. Okay. So you're able to get the brain out without damaging it, without breaking apart any like unnecessary pieces of the skull. It gives away fairly easy, kind of giving you the sense that maybe, it's been a week that this corpse has been here. And as you detach the brain from the brain stem, you notice it goes immediately limp and then just is dead weight in your hands, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's true. And you didn't. Okay. Yeah, and you didn't go through all of your charges. You were just gaining additional on what was left, right? That's true. That was my bad. So, yeah, you're good. Okay. just basketball shoot it. Kobe. Okay. We'll make it a sleight of hand check. And then Aravan, if you're going to try to help him catch it, do a athletics check. So he watches Ethereum jumps and tries to swish this brain into Aravan's bag. Aravan jumps to try to catch it and he misses, and the brain just on the floor. It's just. Poor Guthrie. You're trying to be the voice of reason. trying trying to look at everybody's alignments too, just to see, because we got neutral good, chaotic neutral, lawful neutral, and I think chaotic good. So yeah, Guthrie is technically the most good of everybody, and he's just trying to keep everyone in line with their chaotic being. Okay. Or yeah, lawful, I guess. Lawful neutral. So you're just kind of meh. But you're just going all over the place. Yeah. Okay. Anything else while you're in this tent? You could. You've already done an investigation. There's no money on him. Sure. Let me see here. So, Ishtar, are you taking the robes? Okay. You pull them off. They come off pretty easily because the body's limp and tied up, so you're able to feed it through. And nothing happens. There's nothing in the pockets, but you are able to successfully get the robes. You yeah. As you look at the well, and it's a pretty, standard well. It's very dark. You can't see the bottom. It sounds like there's probably water down there that you can kind of hear. Sure. And oh, that's true. Okay. So you're lighting it up, and oh, okay. What's the brightness? How far is the bright light go? Does it say? Okay. 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 Gotcha. So, you're able to see the water level from where you're at. It looks very murky and thick. Um, and it almost doesn't move. In terms of like if you were to drop a pebble in, or if you you see dirt kind of crumble from the sides and fall down into the water, it doesn't produce any ripple. The dirt does go into the water, but it doesn't seem to cause any displacement. But it's very murky. It's overall nasty. Okay. So with Ervin slapping the well and Guthrie dropping a larger rock, um, hitting the well proves that the well itself is real. The stones and the wood pitch that's there, the little awning, that's all real. And Guthrie, as you throw the rock down and you watch, It travels, and when it hits the quote unquote water, you don't hear a splash, you don't see a splash, but the rock does disappear as if it went into water or something like that. It does appear to fade. You listen, and it doesn't make any noise. Crickets. You're just holding Ervin back by his collar, like, hold on. He really wants to go down that well. I mean, you could do that if you want. It's definitely a thing you can do. Okay, so you start to head towards the tower. With the dilapidated tower, there is only one entrance point, and it's kind of like one person wide to get through this doorway into the tower. So as you get into the tower, you all get in the entrance, and your feet start to stick and slow down as you kind of walk towards and into the tower. And as you look down at your feet, you notice you aren't walking on the ground anymore, which has been kind of cobblestone, but a layer of sludge that you're kind of walking on. It like sticks to your feet and squishes and sloshes around. As you look around, the tower is empty. You just see it's coated on the bottom with this layer of something you can't tell just by looking at it. You can, and as you do it, it cleans off the tops of your shoes and the sides, but you can't get it off the bottom or off the ground. Do an investigation check for me. And Ervin, you said you were going to like lift your foot up. You're able to move, and so like you can walk, but it's definitely like gripping. So it's almost like walking through real thick mud. So you're able to get like a foot out at a time until you step in it, and then it kind of sinks into the sludge again, and then you take another step, kind of a deal. So Guthrie. Okay. You look down and investigate this sludge. And as you do, you notice this isn't like a mud or a swamp kind of material you are stepping in. But what you see is this soupy like mud layer of blood, guts, flesh, and bone. And it appears as if it's just this whole floor of this tower is riddled with decomposing bodies almost. And it's made this sludge that you're walking through that grips to your feet. As you all kind of look around at this flooring, you slowly feel the layer of this decomposition moving around your feet, and it almost kind of pulls you forward just a little bit because of the movement, but you're able to stay where you are. Go ahead. Yes, it starts to slowly pull like towards the center of the tower, and you can tell like the whole floor kind of seems to be getting pulled into this central part, and a mass starts to rise up from the sludge. And I need I'm going to activate the next scene, and I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative. As a gibbering mouther appears, which in essence is a big pile of sludge, goop, and ooze with tons of mouths, eyes, and it's constantly making little chittery chatter noise. Jeez, Guthrie. Good lord. Okay, so we got everybody there. Start combat. Oh, that's going to be loud. Let me turn it down. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So, first up is, I believe, Guthrie. And before you go, because I'm going to forget this and I'm going to have to really remember. Before you go, Guthrie, I need you to let's see. Hold on, I got to read something. Okay, so that one. So I need you to first make a DC 10 wisdom save for me. As the mouther voices start to get louder and babble incoherently. Okay, so you're good there? Just like that. Okay, and then that is it that you have to do first. So go ahead and do your turn. Gross. Yay, there we go. Mm-hmm. No, you don't. It would be if you're shooting another enemy and you're close to another enemy. Like if you're within melee range of an enemy and you're shooting another one. Yeah, if Therion is actively trying to hit you. It should. I sure spent time getting it to work, so if it doesn't, I'm going to be pissed. Okay. Give me 1 second. I should have. My stupid game is real glitchy right now. Get back down there. Come on. There we go. Okay, so you hit with a 16 for, good lord, 19 damage. Okay. Take a punch and you feel it kind of absorb into the body as you pull your hand out again and punch a chunk off of this mouther. Yeah. Yep. it feels like you made some progress. That's a good question. Yes, you are. It does not appear to be immune to like bludgeoning damage, if that is what you're asking. Come on, let me move this here. I gotta fix my stupid settings again at some point because it's so freaking glitchy. Anyway, okay, so another hit for 17. That hits for 13. That was a 23 for 18. Good night. I can't do anything here. We love it when things work. Yes, beginning of your turn. So yes, start with a wisdom save first. And that actually from where you're at, that's all you have to do. 10, you're good. Just barely. Oh, yeah, whoops. I gotta turn that down. You can go back out the door. Yeah. Okay, so 24 hits for 9. Dreadful strikes for another 3. Okay. $27 that hits for 7. Okay. Taking some chunks out with your arrows as you hit. Yeah. Only mine was running smoothly. It's driving me nuts. Ah, loud. I fixed all those sounds to be quieter, so I don't know why they're playing so loud. 5. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then Ethereon, you do the same wisdom save to start, and then you are. Let me see here. So yeah, you're fine. You are also within 10 feet now when you start. So you can also do a strength save throw, please. How long does that? Because you cast that before you went to bed, though, right? Good lord. Oh, that one. Yeah, the audio is ridiculous. Okay, so you save on both, so that doesn't matter. So go ahead and do your thing. And you miss. as, as you go to hit, you see the ooze just split around the hammer. And oh, yeah, you barely hit him that time for 12 damage. He is not looking good, as you see a lot of pieces of him are now all around the tower. Good lord, that's loud. Yeah, because that's the athletics contest. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll. 21 to beat. Big money, big money. Nothing. So as you hit him, you see your shield go through the jelly and he stays upright. He is immune to prone. Yeah. Okay. That brings us then to Mr. Mouther. Good night. Okay. Bear with me. It may take a second. I gotta read. So he's gonna start. Okay. How do I want to do this? Okay. So it's going to use blinding spittle. I wonder how this is going to work. If it's going to just roll. Do I get to place a token? Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to have to manually do that then. Okay, so it's going to spit a chemical glob out of the main mouth that you find. And it's going to hit this spot here, which I will mark with a little circle. Maybe. So here. Oh gosh, this is not going to do what I want. That's not where he's putting it. I just had to make the circle. Okay, so he's hitting it to where it splatters here and hits both Aetherion and Eravin, and I need you both. I need you both to make a dex save, please. The dex saves. Oh, because you were looking to swap it out for the dex saves instead of the other thing, right? Or oh, yeah. I would say for this one it would work. Wow. Okay. You see the blinding flash of impact, but you are able to run out or dodge out of the way in time and shield your eyes to where the blinding light doesn't do anything. It's now then going to go away. Let me get rid of this circle because that's going to drive me nuts. As I prepare to turn the volume down for the next song, it's going to target Guthrie and bite. Oh, come on. Yeah, and that'll also show advantage, disadvantage, cover, and things like that too. So, yeah. And he misses with his attack. So then that will finish his turn. And real quick before I forget, as he finishes his bite, good night. I gotta pull this stuff up. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's gonna be loud. No. That will be fixed before next time. That is my bad. Okay, so Ervin, as you watch as the gibbering mouther finishes its bite attack on Guthrie, you look around and you start to feel like almost like ropes or something kind of brushing up against you. And as you look where you're feeling these ropes, you notice it isn't ropes, but it's actually tentacles. And you look up and you see two Grell floating in the rafters of this tower. One that would be something. These large floating brains with beaks and tentacles dangling on the bottom. As one starts to wrap its tentacles around you, and they're both going to join the fight with the Grells going first. Or not first, but before you. Good night. Come on, add to the stupid. Yeah, the plus is the height. So I'm just gonna skip through them. So. Not like the advantage from height from the instance of like what we were talking about with you. The advantage would be more of being out of reach of certain characters, or like they would have to then get up to your level. But in terms of like actual advantage, nothing would come from that. Specifically, at least like rolling with advantage or something like that. So then I need this Grell is going to come after you, Ervin, with his tentacles. And it's just going to be a regular roll to hit. Okay, so as you feel the tentacles start to come around you, you're able to push them off to where you don't feel the spikes hit you. And that's it for that. So then as it descends on you, it follows that up with its beak to peck at you, and wow, misses again. Okay, then that's it for that Grell. So then okay, the other one will float towards, let's see, 5, 10, 20 is going to go towards Ishtar. And whoops. Oh, I just now realized I did not fix that either. He's down lower. I'm working on that. As he moved towards you, he came down a little bit. The height isn't super important until something else happens, just because their tentacles are, I think, 10 feet long. So it's more just so I can make sure stuff actually hits or like lets me roll an attack. Sorry, say that again. Yeah, so he technically it shows 5 feet. He's technically 10 feet away from you, but because for some reason the way the automation works, it doesn't let me roll their tentacle attack, even though the tentacles have a 10-foot reach. For some reason, because of the elevation, it freaks out thinking that it's an extra like 5 foot away or something. So it'll make more sense when something happens, but in essence, yeah, whenever they attack, they're floating over you, trying to grab with their tentacles, and then they float down just a little bit to peck at with their beak, if that makes any sense. Come on. Go back there. Okay. So this one will start to wrap its tentacles around Ishtar. Geesh, these guys are rolling crap tonight. That's just great. Fails that, so then it's going to float a little closer to use its beak attack as it goes to peck. Oh my gosh. This is rigged. This is just BS. I mean, you guys are doing great. Keep it up. I'm not trying to kill you or anything. Okay. Okay, that's it for the grells. And oh my gosh, I gotta skip this over to Ervin, your turn. So you are, how far are you? So you would do the wisdom save, but you don't have to do the strength save because you're not close enough for the strength. Okay, yep, you're good. Sheesh, I was afraid this was going to be too overpowered of an encounter. Pfft, little did I know. Ooh. Oh, what's his bucket? That's new. Look at all. Okay. Yeah, so I can, yeah. So, okay, it was, so does only the Grell that was next to you do the save? Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, I guess it did do both of them. Yeah, I can revert that. Okay, so then, yeah, they both failed. So they took the full 9 damage. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. Oh, no. You were just going back one, right? Let me see if I can move you. Or not. Come on. Oh, it helps if I have the right button clicked. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is BS. I don't know what's going on. Oh, go away. It sure doesn't seem like that. Okay. If you right click, it should get rid of that. I just had that issue happen too. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Okay. It was all working fine until today. Okay, so it still is like showing up on your mouse to target somebody. Oh. Okay, let me do this. Let me try this. Because I wonder. Oh, okay, or it doesn't get rid of that. What? T is what I always use. I don't know if Q does it. I don't think it does. Yeah. What is going on? Okay. Okay, does a Oh, yeah, like in your top left, the button bar where you click on the actor token and then the little square, is that highlighted? What is going on? Okay. Well, you and me both. In a momento. Something's changed because literally I ran this encounter so many times to make sure all the animations worked and all the automation worked. And then as soon as we had a session, my frame rates dropped to 6. So I'm working on 6 frames a second right now. And then Yeah. Okay. We're looking better now. Okay. Fingers crossed. Do your thing, Irvin. Kill all my monsters. Jeez. Oh. Okay, yeah. Let me do. Oh, to make it. Yeah, because the. Yeah, you good? Nice. Okay. So then. Okay, so you're. Oh, let's see. In the middle of a combo, you're like, "Hey, Guthrie, did you know about that one time when?" Just go off into a quick little story. Okay. Anything else for you? Okay. That brings us to Guthrie. Oh, that does remind me about something. Yeah, so this time, Guthrie, you'll make 2 saving throws. First is the wisdom, second is the strength. Oh, so it's you. You're the one that's screwing up all my stuff on the background. Yeah, that stupid ore screwed up. 13. Okay, so your wisdom save you pass. I see a +4. No. I guess I did choose kind of the worst monster because I have 2 very strong characters. I should have did something with at least a higher DC. That would have been smart. Having a DC 10 strength and a DC 10 wisdom were pretty low. Mid combat. 29. Yep, you're good. Go ahead and do your damage. Just to shove it in my face. And it should auto calculate a flanking, I think. It may not, but it should. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Okay, how do you kill it? Jesus. You just see all of it explode and coat the walls and coat you, Erevin, or not Erevin, Therion, as this gibbering mouther just explodes in goop. Yeah, it's slowly building. Oh, longbow. I just now saw that. Okay, yep, Grell. So you hit it for 6. Okay. Okay. So that brings us to Meeser Grell number 1, which I think is this one. Yeah. As it floats over to gosh, this is gonna be so stupid. Yeah. So it floats around the corner. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's Ervin. He was 10 fuse out of range. He he scurried around the tower wall. Floating bastard. Starts with its tentacles again. Ervin, as you start to feel it wrap. Oh my gosh, what's the point? Why? Why do I even try? Okay. And a nat 1. Like, what? What is this crap? Okay. It fails both times. It's going to just depressingly leave. Ishtar, it's you. His armor. Yeah, I'm really regretting giving all those magic items out. Yes. Oh, I thought I got rid of that. You sneak. Okay, bye. That's probably what it was. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Ishtar, you were saying moving your hunter's mark. Yes, it should let you. Let me take it off of this guy. And then you should be able to select to do it to the Grell without using a slot. Because then that would be using your bonus action. Hey. Right under your picture, it says walk. And that 30. So you have 30 feet of movement. Freaking idiots can't do nothing. Okay. Yeah. Whoops. I'm going to move him here just so it'll let me attack because it'll freak out if I try to do that. So as you dip out of there, you feel the tentacles start to roll around you. Finally. I mean, sorry, Ishtar. You're doing great. Also, with that, as you run, you do a DC 10 concentration check, which I think it auto rolled. And you passed. So dang. Okay, so with that, you took some damage. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay, so then you now are also, which I believe this is true. Audience DMs, please correct me if I'm wrong. You are also grappled because that is if they get hit, they get grappled. Does that count for reactions as well, or is that purely only an action that has to be taken? Because it wasn't. Yeah, because it's not a save for the grapple. It's just if it gets hit with the tentacles, it is grappled. Yeah. So, okay. So then, Ishtar, you are now grappled, which then means that as you ran away, the Grell was attached to you and went with you. Ooh, maybe not. That never mind. That actually means it's not. You wouldn't get to move, right? Yeah. So. Okay, so let me get all this done here before I'm getting ahead of myself. Poison, yeah. Where is this at? Well, there's two of them. One for poison and one for your concentration, yeah. Okay, so grab. Okay, so you are grappled, and then technically you both would still be here. As you started to run away, and like a little squid, it latched onto you and stuck you there. So, yes, so you're restrained as well, which this drives me nuts. So if I remember, you can't do anything except fight the grapple / restraint, right? This is always the hardest part. Let me pull them up because I have them. Okay, and then the restrain doesn't do anything on top of it? Because that drove me nuts because it says... Okay, so... Okay, so yeah, you have no movement, and then you're disadvantaged for your attacks. But then you, at the end of the turn, you can do a strength check, strength save to get out of it. So, or use it, yeah, using it to do that, yeah. Yeah, so you could do that as well. Jeez, and you still hit the stupid thing. Jeez. Okay, yeah. Took a shot of it from point, but which, once again, makes sense. Like, it's not doing anything other than holding you closer to it, so if you have enough room to pull a bow back and hit it, you're going to hit it. So, okay. Anything else? I mean, really, even if it's holding, you could just shove the arrow into the brain, too. It is just a brain. Would that be... So is that like at the end of their turn they always do that? Or is that they have to make the choice to try to get out of the grapple? That's kind of what I was thinking. So I think it's you would have to then forego an attack to get out of the grapple. Just shove another arrow. That one. I mean, oh, sorry, Ishtar. Dang, that sucks. Okay. Ethereon. Yeah, he technically is. I'm curious to see how it works. My ruling would be no, because it's holding on to Ishtar. It's not necessarily focusing on him anymore. It's just holding him in its dangly tentacles. So I'm curious to see if the automation acts as though you are still flanking or not. So we'll see. Yes. Yeah. When he gets dropped, because, oh gosh, that was loud. Sorry. Because of how high the Grell holds him, because this 5 feet isn't correct. It's actually 10 feet or so. He would fall and then fall prone. Just at this current height, he wouldn't take damage from falling, just go prone. Yeah, you'd still be able to hit it. I'm kind of finagling the numbers just to make make it to where they're still hittable right now, even though it's floating a little. So. Okay. So as you go to hit it with your shield and you connect with the brain, you see the Grell float back a little bit, but come back to where it was, as it is immune to prone as well. I did not even plan that until this session, and I saw, oh, they're immune to it. Okay, I'm not too bad. Okay, so it did go with advantage. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'll let it slide. I guess probably what would fix it actually is I would have to put Ishtar there. Doink. Okay, as you make a big hit, the Grell kind of backs away and lets out a horrifying screech. Anything else? Oh. Okay, well, now we know. Okay, and as you hit it, Ishtar drops you and you land on the ground prone, which I'll get rid of the restrain, the grapple. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Just to be mean. Okay. That brings us to Ervin. Hey, that's he not 20'd on Ishtar when that happened. Ah, smart. Okay. Yeah. It's a little OP, but whatever. Okay, and that is lightning or thunder damage. Okay. Okay, and he failed. So then he takes the full 17 damage as thunder erupts from the area that Erevin claps. He floats over you, Aetherion, and you feel the tentacles smack you in the face as it floats around. And then it lands over there. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Oh, I got it. Oh. Okay. Hopefully you don't hit Mr. Aetherion there. Oh well. Yeah. No. And you miss, unfortunately. Okay, anything else? Okay. Brings us to Guthrie. What are you doing? Punch the thing. Why does it not automatically tell me if you hit? That's normally it does that. And it, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And it hit. So, oh, it also didn't roll. Oh, it didn't take that you had targeted it, which is weird. Because you didn't get advantage from flanking. So roll again, just because I'm curious. We'll take the whatever is the highest damage. There we go. That's and you rolled okay 9 and 6. So yeah, not much difference. Okay, so 17, 3. Okay, as you take a big punch, and and it's not looking great. What do you want to do? Oh, now you get the nat 20 for 5 million dice rolls. Okay, how do you kill it? Oh, okay. Just watch it explode. Okay. And congratulations, you've ended combat and you've survived. Yay. Good job. Okay. So the okay. And Ethereon, after you say that, you see a bolt of lightning come down, strike you, and your character's dead. The gods get angry, destroy the world, and new game. Oh, man. Whoever wants to look, you can do a what is it? Oh, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong notes. Not that one. It is this one. Do an investigation check for me. Whoever wants to be kind of looking around for things. So, nobody sees anything except for Ishtar. And Ishtar, you look in the rubble of the old tower, and you find a where is it? There it is. You find a pickaxe kind of embedded in the rubble, and the pickaxe has runes on it that you can't read. if anybody wants to look at it and attempt to read, you can, but none of you can inherently read this, like these runes. Okay. Let me do this. Because then that just, where's that at? Because it lets you can read. Whoa. Okay. Takes about 1 minute to read one page of text. Spells. Okay. So looking at the pickaxe, does it say that it says you understand it, but does it tell you what the language is, I guess? Okay. So you gotcha. Okay. So you can tell, like, you can start to read these runes as they start to form words. And what it says is not a whole lot. However, you do see the words Zorzula's Rest on it. And on the other side, it seems to be maybe some name of whoever owned this pickaxe. You can't really tell. Like, the name doesn't mean anything to you, but it does seem like there's a name on one side, and on the other side it says Zorzula's Rest. An achy breaky heart starts to play. The grills, yeah. Do a Arcana check for me. Yep. The skill changes based off of who or what the thing is you're harvesting. So you got a 14. So with the 14, you are able to harvest the tentacles. So you get 4, 2 from each, which I need to make a note now before I forget. Irvin got 4 Rel tentacles. Okay. Which I'll send you all this as well, but in essence, the long tentacles of a Grell are tough whip-like arms, and an expert craftsman can stretch the tentacles and carefully comb them into long, thin fibers. The fibers are then soaked and treated with oils, making them useful filaments for creating ropes and whips, and some adept weavers can even make strands small enough to make fabric. Didn't roll high enough. Let me. Yes. The DC increases after someone has already harvested them, but yes, you can. Yes. You are unable to, as you try to pull the beak out, you break it in half and just rip part of the brain with it as you just man arm this and just destroy. Nothing's happening. It's beyond repair. You can. It just gets hard. It just gets harder. Nope. Okay, we are gonna do critical fails. You guys actually get sucked into a black hole that they form. Hey. Nothing. And after the whatever ith try this is, you see the Grell's bodies slowly decompose into ash. Disappear. Anything else you want to do here before moving on? Ooh. he could. It would take some time. There would be like downtime activity. I mean, well, actually, it would be downtime activity if I decide if he's an expert enough with Grell tentacles. So, yeah, that was something that we added to it since he's not going to be using weapons. Instead, making his unarmed attacks deal a different amount of damage base. I believe that's how we did that. Yeah, I got you. The only thing that you see readily available would be part of like the pulley system that was used for it. The bucket's broken, but there still seems to be rope attached to the I don't think it's called a pulley system. The winch, maybe? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. Yes. So the wood, yes, so it is a wooden bucket, and Ethereon, you tug on the rope, and it feels fairly taut. Or no, like you pull on the rope that it's not in the well, it's hanging out the side like the picture shows, but you pull on the rope like to see how well it's attached to the thing. It's yeah. Oh, now you're going back on your your excitement. Doing rollies, see who rolls the lowest. Yeah, D20 just straight. Yeah, Ethereon doesn't look great for you. Okay, so okay, so you're going down the well. Okay. So are you? I'm assuming they're just putting the rope in, putting the rope in it, and then like just rappelling down the rope, right? Okay. So as you start to go down the well, Ishtar, you're watching, and Ervin and Guthrie, you're watching as the crank is undoing itself as he slowly goes down. It gets darker and darker. You start to feel colder and colder. And as you get close to that water substance surface, your feet touch 1st. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as you go to poke it, the same thing as what the rocks did. You start to see it disappear into the water, but you don't see any movement from the water or anything like that. Yeah, you can see kind of the other side go through. Okay. Go ahead, and as your body starts to go into the water, it gets colder and colder and colder, as if you're getting kind of put in ice almost. And as your head starts to go under the water, go ahead and make a Constitution save for me, real quick. Okay. You submerge. You submerge into the water, and Ishtar and everybody above, you see the crank stop moving, and you see Aetherion kind of disappear into the darkness, but the crank stops moving, so it doesn't seem like he's going any deeper. Aetherion, you start to realize that you aren't moving on the rope anymore, but you're kind of floating almost as if you were in water, but you reach out to the sides and the well walls aren't there. So it's almost like, go ahead. No, you are not underwater. You're just kind of in this weightless, whatever, atmosphere, whatever you want to consider it as. And you look around and you can't see anything. It's pitch black, but you don't feel the confines of the well around you. And you kind of slowly start to sink farther and farther and farther. And it feels like, maybe a few minutes have passed, and you finally feel the ground again. And as soon as your foot touches the ground, the weightlessness leaves, and you can see, and you're in this very dark, it almost looks cavernous in nature, but with these gems kind of embedded in the cavern walls that are emitting the light, very faint but somewhat colorful, to like in the dark purples and blues and greens. And you look around, and it's just this expanse of, almost looks like caves and a cave system that you're in, but it's not like anything you've ever seen before. You see the rope, but when you were floating down, you weren't holding on to it. So it's almost as like once you got into this water substance, you let go of the rope and just kind of continued to float down to the bottom. The rope is still there, but you didn't need it to get any lower. So as you grab it and start to wiggle, you feel your body float back up again, and the weightlessness happens. You let go of the rope, and you can't control it, but you start to float back up, and then quickly you reach the crest of the water again. And as you break through that water surface, you're holding onto the rope, and you feel yourself get pulled back up as you come to the top. And Ishtar and everybody on top sees the crank start pulling again in the opposite direction, and you come back to the top. Not wet or anything, fully dry. Yes. So, in essence, you've heard of the Underdark a little from Ishtar, and Ishtar hearing about what Aetherion experienced, it does kind of ring a bell, as this could be one of the methods of transporting to the Underdark. You haven't really heard of this specific entrance, but you do know it's very common for that kind of a, not illusion, but kind of that arcane barrier to teleport to between the two. Yeah, that's kind of the myth of Old Owl Well, is that the well led somewhere subterranean. Everyone just turns around and is like, nah, I don't think I want to do that anymore. The only thing you noticed was the cavernous-like substance that it seemed to be made out of. Advantage. Oh, that's nice. It was out. It was laying off the side. Mm, Okay. Yeah, there you go. You mentioned going to Tribor, where the burned farm was. Where you're at, you're kind of splitting the two. Tribor is just towards the east, Phandalin would be towards the west, and it would be another half day or so either way. So you would end up getting to either destination later in the evening to where you'd have to camp for the night. Okay. Go ahead and do an investigation check for me. It just seems like a dilapidated tower. You do notice some marks, maybe from damage like caused by spells or by something hitting it, like impact. But really, there's nothing else that either of you see other than just kind of maybe how this tower had been destroyed at some point. Oh boy, can you? Let's see. Let me see if I have history first before I make you roll. If you want to inspire, sure. So with the 19, let me just look. Okay, so so yeah, what you would know is that Old Owl Well was a popular watering hole and rest stop for caravan traffic on the Tribor Trail, which is that main road that connects the Sword Coast to Tribor and other towns like that. And so this was kind of one of the more popular places to stop to let your horses or ox kind of catch their breath, get a drink, and maybe camp for the night. And then going down a little more. Gosh, there's actually like a decent history here. That's what I should just end up doing. Giving you some meta knowledge, it doesn't say. It really just it jumps from the last people to own it, and then it says approximately in 1491, Old Owlwell was nothing but a ruined watchtower. Yeah, we'll say that there was a about 400 years ago. Nope, not 400. That's way too many. About 100 years ago, it was mythed / rumored that a dragon came and destroyed this little watering hole spot, trying to attack a large caravan that came through. And since then, no one's stopped here. But the dragon has also not been seen since either. As of now, no. Yeah, that would be the rumor, is that, yeah, there was a connection to the Underdark, but that's about as deep as the rumor has gone as far as what you've heard, is that there's a connection. Gotcha. Okay, so let's get you guys some traveling sounds. As you get zapped by lightning and you die. Okay, so you start to head towards Tribor. I will apologize, I don't have art. But yes, yeah, so you all get inspired by Etherion's great history of what you just all did. Okay, and let's see. Yeah. So as you approach Tribor, it's a fairly uneventful journey again. It's been pretty good traveling. It's starting to get later in the evening, but you get to Tribor, and really you get to the outskirts of Tribor specifically, where you see kind of more of the farms start, and you're seeing the fields with some plants starting to sprout, and you can see before you even get there, you see the smoke still kind of rising from what you would surmise is the burned farm that that Borber had talked about. And as you kind of get closer and closer, you can start to smell the smoke and the burned building that's kind of in crumbles now, as well as the field. All of the plants that had started to sprout had been scorched. And you start to see a few townspeople kind of plowing the dirt to bury all of the burned plants to kind of refertilize the field. And there's a few people that seemingly look to be putting or cleaning up the building that's been destroyed. And as you get there, you notice one of the people helping clean up the building appears to be a monk of some sort, kind of standing out from the crowd a little. The rest are pretty like dirty farm hands or farmers who are covered in soot and mud from working. The monk seems to be helping out as well, but definitely seems to stay clean. And Ervin, why don't you describe Valdir for everybody? Okay. And as you get closer, you see this monk working and swapping Ervin over to Valdir. You kind of notice the sound of a cart or some horses coming into town, and you look up and see this group of strangers to town that you haven't seen before start to get a little closer to the burnt farm. Okay. Okay. I was about to say that, yeah, for Ishtar and Theron, are you doing the same or sorry, I might have cut you off. What were you going to say? Sure. And then, okay. Okay. So as you start to get into the rubble and help put out the remaining smoldering embers and start kind of clearing some of the way, you see this probably was not a large house, but it definitely housed maybe a few people at one time. Um, and you start to put things back together. There really isn't anything left from the house either. The only things you're really finding are the very large wooden beams that would be like supports for the roof or the walls. Even then, they're still very badly scorched and crumbling. And then the stones from like the cobblestone walkway or the walls that it was set with. And really, it's just you. It'd be five technically with Ishtar over by the tree. You five working in this general area, and then you see a few people, like I said, out in the fields, kind of still tilling up the scorched plants. And then that's about it right here. You're still a little ways away from town. You can see the main entrance into town, but you're probably a few minutes walk still, just because this is more on the outskirts. Than actually like in Tribor itself. Do a survival check for me. Um, it wouldn't be able, so that wouldn't help you determine how the fire was started, but it would help you determine when it was started. Like a more precise, like how long had this wood been on fire to get to this kind of damage, kind of a thing. If that is useful to you. Oh, it's so close. 7. What you know is that with the big support beams that you're seeing, those are very solid oak, and it would take at least a good few hours of being directly on fire for this amount of damage to happen to those, let alone to make one of them fall in, like a roof support beam collapse in. So you can surmise that at least the fire had to have been going on for multiple hours on these support beams alone to make this damage. And so kind of extrapolating out, at least 10 12 hours, if not longer, the fire had to have been going to cause this much damage. Anybody have anything else that they're wanting to do? So you had the gems you and Ishtar took from the orc shaman said to find the stone at the farm and meet me at the rest. And then you heard from Borber that they set this farm, or you surmise it was this farm on fire in Tribor looking for a shard, but they never did find it. And Valdir, I'll let you answer. I'm trying to make sure I look through my notes that I gave you. Yeah. Okay. So you start to talk to some of the other people that are helping. And what you get is none of them had seen a shard or anything of what you're describing, but they do mention that the farmer who owned this farm, Dareth Grint, he had been sounding a little more paranoid than usual over the last handful of days before the fire. Was talking about feeling like he was being watched and even would see eyes in the night, which you remember Valdir had mentioned as well. But unfortunately, nobody took him seriously, thinking he was just crazy. And then a few days ago, give or take, like a week or so, he wrote a letter to Valdir, which, sorry that I'm imposing, but wrote a letter to Valdir saying that he was going to run away to Phandalin because he didn't think that he was safe here anymore. And then that next night, the farm caught fire, and as you can see, the whole building and all the fields took a blaze too quick for anybody to put it out to save any of it. And with that, you guys remember, or Therion, I guess, kind of specifically, remember that Borber mentioned they never found the stone. They also never found the farmer here either. And Valdir mentioned that the farmer fled to Phandalin before this happened. And none of you can recollect seeing any new farmer specifically. There have been kind of a constant influx of new people into Phandalin, but the description of Dareth that Valdir gives you doesn't ring any bells of anybody specific that you've seen in Phandalin since then. I mean, I guess I can let you decide that if you feel strongly a different way. I was going to take it as Valdir is kind of like the care for the less fortunate of the town. And so, yeah, like he probably wouldn't have thought too much about what Dareth was saying. But then when Dareth left and then like the farm catching on fire, he may be a little more like, oh gosh, I wonder what happened to him. Poor guy, kind of, kind of a thing. You take that as you will if you want to make it less or more intense than that. Do a history check, please. You don't remember anything specific where he talked about like a shard or anything specific like that. What you do remember is shortly after you got to Tribor, Dareth had come to town to sell some of his fruits, and this was kind of when you met Dareth. And he carried with him a dagger, and the dagger had a hilt that you thought was, oh, that's a pretty nice dagger for a farmer. And he had mentioned that it was a family heirloom that he had his whole life. He was planning on giving it to a son if he ever had one, kind of a thing. That's the closest thing you could think of some sort of fancy gemstone that maybe somebody would look for. You can't think of why someone would want it, though. Would be the road that you guys took, the Tribor Trail. Yeah, traveling to Tribor, you hadn't seen anything of note, correct? Man, you're setting me up for failure here whenever I have to voice this NPC. Oh man, doesn't that suck? I just imagine Aetherion, this big, majestic paladin, just looking at you guys like, I don't know. Just. Fine sense. That's a notification. Okay. At the end of the next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or another location of any celestial fiend undead within 6. Cause this feature. Okay. And lightning bolt, everybody dies. New game. Yeah. So he seems just like a normal in the sense of what this spell is looking for. A normal human. And you get the sense that he's being honest, but it comes across potentially shady just because he's not from this town. So he already kind of sticks out a little. But there, as you think and look deeper, you don't see any malintent there. Correct. You're just like peering at him for a few seconds. You're like, nope, he's good. Yeah, it's actually maybe like half hour off, but yeah, in essence, 7:30 p.m. Myrtle the third. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to check, you can roll an investigation for me. Okay. Yeah, you're really pulling double duty here. Yes. Oh. Oh man. Okay. So, yeah, Valdir. Watch him getting that 20. Oh, that's pretty high. Yeah, so none of you see anything. It all seems fairly rubble. Valdir, is it Valdir or Valdir? That doesn't matter, I guess, where the emphasis is. Valdir, okay. Valdir, okay. Okay, so Valdir, you find somehow saved. It seemed to be like kind of buried under dirt almost rather than ash. A piece of paper. And as you pull it out, you read, and it's a journal entry by Dareth, kind of mimicking the same. Well, okay, Valdir, you wouldn't know this, but it writes as Dareth is kind of saying, I can't sleep at night. I feel like I'm being constantly watched. I swear I see eyes every time I look outside my window. I'm hearing things. I don't feel safe. Kind of just like detailing how he started to spiral out into this craziness before he left for Phandalin. And actually, will you share this information with the group? Okay. Gotcha. So as the party, as you guys read this note, it reads very similar to Haman Cost's The Red Wizard of Thay you found at Old Owl Well, and how his journal read that Erevan found towards the last day. A lot of similarities about feeling watched, feeling like they can see eyes in the distance, and hearing things at night to where they can't sleep. You kind of pick on some similarities between the two. Burn, roasted. That is the question. Well, that didn't take long for you to realize that. Yeah. So with that, we will end the session here. So it sounds like you all will be kind of chilling here in Valdir's tent before heading back towards Phandalin, with or without Valdir, to see what Jeremy feels like come later. But does that sound right? You guys are spending the night here and then heading towards Phandalin? Okay. Okay. So with that, I will get stuff ready for next session. Before I forget,